What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here for another pre-match fan show and press conference reaction. It is the last game of the season this weekend. Tottenham against Leicester at the King Power. Sim, how you feeling coming into this one? You want to run through like the kind of state of play going into the last game of the season?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very outside shot in terms of Spurs getting European football next season, or Europa League football. I don't know if you count Conference League as European football, but we kind
West Ham probably do.
Yeah, West Ham for sure do, but we need West Ham to lose at home to Southampton, while Spurs need to win against Leicester to have any chance, or to have a chance of playing Europa League football. That would give us Europa League football. If West Ham lose and Tottenham win, we get Europa League. However, if West Ham draw, that rules us out. We can't get sixth place, and it'll be the first time in 12 years, I believe, we drop out of the top six if West Ham get a draw or more against Southampton at home on the last day. Everton are level on points with Spurs as well going to the last game of the season. They have City away. Arsenal are 1 point behind Tottenham. They have Brighton at home. If Spurs fail to beat Leicester and Everton get a point, Everton get more than a point, will get a win against City, then we finish below Everton. If Arsenal beat Brighton and Spurs fail to beat Leicester, Arsenal finish above Spurs. So that is obviously is fair, probably favourites at this point to finish above us, which is a massive blow, really. Sorry. And so we need to win, but Leicester have their own motivation. They're going for top four. They need to win because they are level on points with Liverpool, 4 goals behind them on goal difference. They are 1 point behind Chelsea, who are in third, with Chelsea playing Aston Villa away from home. So if they fail to beat Villa, which isn't so impossible because Villa are a decent team, and Leicester win, Leicester grab that 4th spot. So it's all to play for in terms of Leicester's point of view. In terms of Spurs, it's a real outside shot at top 4, top 6, but it looks very unlikely at this point. So we need the win. Leicester need the win. A draw is not good for either of us. So it could be a good game of football, but it's unlikely Tottenham are going to be getting Europa League next season.
All right, well, the Ryan Mason's press conference has been done. He's been batting away questions about Harry Kane for 20 minutes, so let's get into it.
Of course, yes. Let's listen to what he's got to say.
Season. You've got Ryan Mason, our interim head coach, with you. Just a reminder, as we normally operate, start with broadcast questions, no embargo on them, but no live social media posting or streaming of press conference. Then we'll move on to the dailies bit, which is embargo till 10:30 this evening. So we'll get started. If you raise your hands, we'll get to as many of you as possible. David from Sky, where are you? Have you got your hand up? Right, I've found you. David.
Yes, hello, can you hear me? I was trying to find my hand.
No worries. Got you.
Ryan, nice to see you. I realise you've been asked quite a lot about this over the last couple of weeks, but in the last 24 hours, in the last hour, a new interview with Harry Kane has been released. Given what we've heard from that interview, can you offer any reassurance, or do you believe that the Leicester game will be Harry's final game in the Tottenham shirt?
No, in terms of the interview, I know something's been published, but I've not listened to it. I've not watched it. I've not heard anything because I've been out on a training pitch. I've been preparing for a game at the weekend, so it's a game that's important for us. We need to win. We're going to go there to win, and Harry's going to be part of that as well. So they're the only comments I have on it, to be honest.
Just reflecting on your own career as well for a moment. Obviously, your playing career ended early, and perhaps you didn't achieve what you wanted to achieve as a player. Can you therefore understand a fellow player when he says that he doesn't want to end his career with any regrets at all?
No, of course. No player wants to end their career with regrets. I don't think any human being likes having regrets either. So it's normal. I think if you speak to any player in the world, they'll probably say the same. So like I said before, my attention, and I know every player's attention, is on the weekend. And then the summer is the summer. Next season's next season. But at the moment, the only conversations that I've had or that we'll be having will be about the game at the weekend with not only Harry, but also every other player in the squad as well.
If he manages to score maybe one or two over the weekend, it might add a few more million perhaps onto a price tag. He mentioned in this interview about £100 million, and that might be his peak value. He says that perhaps that won't get any higher over the next couple of years. But from your point of view and from what you've seen of Harry, do you think that his stock can rise still further?
I think, first of all, I hope Harry scores a couple at the weekend, because I think his performances this season have warranted the Golden Boot. I think he's the best player in the Premier League. He's got the most assists, and hopefully from an individual point of view, he gets a Golden Boot as well. And in doing that, he helps Tottenham Hotspur get 3 points at the weekend. That's the most important thing. I can't speak on transfer value and people's stock and all that, because in football, things change so quickly. So at the moment, Harry's a Tottenham player, and he's going to be involved at the weekend. And like I say, hopefully he can win the Golden Boot.
Okay, David, can we move it on, please? Thank you.
Sure, no problem. Looking ahead then to the weekend, have you seen any extra motivation? I mean, with the background of Harry's situation, but also your situation as well. It's the last game that you'll be in charge of. Have you noticed any extra motivation after the Villa game?
No extra motivation. Wednesday night was disappointing. It was massively disappointing for us to lose, and then also the manner in which we lost as well. I think it makes it very difficult to take. We have to bounce back. We've been in positions where you have to try and get over results as quickly as possible. And in football, the good thing is we've got a game in 2 days, which is still fresh in our minds the other night. So we want to win for our own sake as well. And then also when you're representing Tottenham Hotspur, you want to win. We know it's a big game. They've got something riding on it. We have as well. So we know the importance of the game. So in terms of extra motivation, no. The motivation is to win a game of football, and that is always the case.
How will you look back on your time in charge? I mean, it's been a mixture of results, but then also you've had lots of difficult questions from us lot, Super League, Harry Kane, all this stuff. You know, if you go into an interview to be a head coach somewhere else, you can probably tick off how to handle the media. You've had some difficult situations to deal with, but how will you look back on your time in charge on the pitch, but also off the pitch as well?
I think that question I'll probably answer in the summer or a bit further down the line when I do actually reflect, because at the moment my mind hasn't really thought of that. All the stuff you spoke about, it comes with being in this role. I respect you guys have got a job to do. I understand it. I've been involved in the media as well, so I know what it's like. It's not a problem. It's normal. It's normal. The most important thing when you're in this role is that you take care of business on the football pitch. We've had a short time to try and change some stuff quite a lot. We feel like we have, but unfortunately, in key moments in a couple of the games, have gone against us, and ultimately you're judged on results. And Wednesday night was very disappointing. Not for me, because I don't have an ego. I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing it for Tottenham Hotspur, and it was a disappointing evening for everyone associated with the club. And the most important thing now is we try and bounce back at the weekend. In terms of me and my career and stuff, yes, there's stuff I've learned. Of course, I'd be crazy and silly not to take some things, but in terms of reflection, I think it's something not to think about right now.
And for the weekend game, obviously there's still stuff on the line for Tottenham Hotspur, European qualification. Obviously, you would prefer to perhaps qualify for the Europa League, but would it be satisfactory if Tottenham were to qualify for the Conference League?
I think we want to win. We want to win, and then we'll see where we end up. The first priority is to win. Unfortunately, the other night damaged us a little bit in terms of it's not in our control now, certain things. So we're disappointed with that. But now we have to bounce back and firstly take care of the weekend and the weekend's result. And like I say, if we win, then we'll see where we end up next season.
And just a final one from me on something slightly different. We've seen the Met Police investigation into online hate. They've made a couple of arrests. And obviously, we can't talk about the specifics of the case, but obviously, Tottenham players have been the target of online hate this season. Do you welcome authorities taking steps to try and stop this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think it's just been Tottenham players either. I think it's a lot of people, not just footballers, people in society as well. So I'm happy that something's been taken into consideration. There's some accountability for certain actions, and hopefully going forward, these things can they can get a lot stricter.
Thank you, David. Ian Abrahams.
Hi, Ryan. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right, thanks.
Last game as manager of Spurs. Would you claim it was a success?
Sorry, Ian, can you repeat that, please?
Your last game as manager of Spurs coming up. Would you claim your period in time has been a success?
Listen, we've still got another game at the weekend to judge that. I really believe we've made some changes that will help us go forward. I really believe that. In terms of a success, we'll see. We'll see what the weekend brings up. I think the most important people to answer that question are probably the board, the fans, the feeling, the players. Of course, I have my opinions on what we've done as a coaching team, as coaching staff, and I believe we've changed some stuff and helped the group as well. So, like I go back to the most important thing in this role, or when you're coaching a team, is the results. And the other night was a dent. It was tough to take. It was disappointing, but we need to bounce back and get a good feeling at the weekend come Sunday evening.
There's a lot of negativity around a lot of football clubs right now, including Tottenham, who were top at one stage and may now only finish as high as seventh. Do you understand the fans' view on that? I mean, I asked Mikel Arteta if Arsenal's season had been an acceptable one, finishing seventh. He said no. So it'd be interesting what your opinion is on Spurs on that front.
Yeah, I agree. Frustrating, obviously disappointing. We don't want to be where we are now. I've no shame in saying that. Absolutely, we as a club we want to aim for better things. I know the chairman has mentioned some things in recent days about the direction we want to go as a football club come next season. So we'll get the weekend out the way and hopefully win that game of football. And like I say, we'll see where we finish up. But of course, we don't want to be where we are. There's absolutely no problem with saying that. I understand the frustration with our fans, but it's important the fans know that our players are feeling that too. We know that we don't want to be where we are. So, of course, it's been a disappointing campaign in the way that it's panned out in the end.
And last one from me, in terms of Spurs' future not being in this position in 12 months' time, how much of a rebuilding of the team does there have to be? There are all those years under Pochettino where it was basically the same squad after year. Didn't change actually that much, to be fair, under Mourinho. How much does it need to be changed a lot this summer, regardless of what happens with Harry?
I think things will happen in the summer because there's a managerial place that needs to be taken. So firstly, I'm sure that will happen. And then, like I say, to echo the chairman's words about getting back to the DNA of this football club. And it's important you build something. All successful clubs recently, and as years gone by, have had time to build something. They've wanted to go in a certain direction and work a certain way. And yeah, I agree with the chairman. I think we do need to build something, definitely, and hopefully we will. These things can take time sometimes. Sometimes they can be quick. You look at a team like Liverpool, for example. I think they've finished 8th twice in the last decade. But under Jurgen Klopp, that time they built something. They won the league, and the feeling is different. So this football club, we have foundations there to build something, and hopefully that can happen.
Okay, thank you, Moose.
So just on that, we had built something.
What's that?
He says we need to build something. We did. We did build something, and
Yep.
they completely threw it away.
Yeah.
They completely threw it away. They didn't have the foresight to have what they built and build on that.
They lost sight of key priorities.
They lost sight of key priorities, exactly. So I'm sorry, I don't buy all this. Oh, we need to build something. We need to. We need a. I mean, we do, but but like, we had it, and that never gets acknowledged. How we've just chucked it away because we thought we could have a quick fix.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I mean, he's not looking back. He needs to look forward. And you can't say like, oh, yeah, we built something and 3 years ago we threw it away. I mean, ultimately, the plan is we need to build something again.
It's ridiculous, though. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, pisses me off.
We're going to move on to Olivia from PLP.
Hi, Ryan.
Hello.
You know that performance midweek. What can you put your finger on what those inconsistencies are down to?
No, I can't really. I mean, these moments in games where I think if we break down the game the other day, the first 20 minutes, I think we had the best part of 70% possession. They didn't have a shot on our target. We was in control of the match. We was 1-0 up, and then an unfortunate moment with the own goal. It changes the momentum. The feeling is different. And I think we're trying to work in a way now that is probably different to what we've been working under the previous management. So these things take time to stay disciplined at and not lose our shape or not lose our structure and things like that. So these moments in football, they're crucial. I spoke about the Leeds moment with the offside, and these moments, they change the whole dynamic of a game of football. And I believe the other night we lost our way for 20 minutes after the own goal, after that situation. And then we give them another goal on the stroke of half time as well. So to give 2 goals away in the Premier League, it becomes difficult to turn it around after that.
And a word on Leicester as well. You know, they've been brilliant this season. They are where they are in the league for a reason. What sort of challenge do they pose you this weekend?
Yeah, it's going to be a big challenge. They won the FA Cup, so I'm sure they're on a bit of a high from that. And then obviously they had their midweek game as well, which I'm sure was disappointing for them. So there's a lot riding on this game. We know that. We respect them. They work in a very good way. They've got a really good manager. And like you say, they've had a good season as well. So, yeah, it's a difficult match, definitely. I think it would be a difficult match for both teams. So it's important we go there with the belief to come out on top.
And just finally, I know you said you don't want to talk about, you know, your role as manager until after Sunday, but if you could just tell us how much you've enjoyed, you know, stepping up and taking on this role as the club that, you know, you love and you support and you played for.
Yeah, I have immense pride. I mean, to be given this opportunity to represent the club in the role that I'm in at the moment is very flattering. It's one of the best jobs in Europe. And to be given that responsibility is a big deal. So I've enjoyed it. I wish we could have had some more positive results. Obviously, we've had a few at home. We've put ourselves in a position now where we have to go into the weekend and win a game of football. So once that game's out the way and hopefully we get 3 points, then maybe I'll be able to sit down and speak to some family members and really enjoy the experience. But at the moment, yeah, it's been crazy, but also it's been something that I've fully enjoyed as well.
Okay, thanks, Olivia. We'll go to George comments.
Thanks, Simon. Hello, Ryan. Ryan, sorry, in this latest interview Harry Kane's done, he said he wants to play with Kevin De Bruyne. So is this where his future is going to be, Man City?
Oh, like I said, I wasn't aware of that because I've not heard it, but I'd love to play with Kevin De Bruyne as well. I think every footballer in the world, every footballer in the Premier League is an exceptional player. And from what I know, I've spoken to him a few times, he's an exceptional person as well. So I think if you ask any footballer in world football right now, would you like to play with Kevin De Bruyne? I think they'd say yes.
And just, you know what's going to happen with Gareth Bale? Will he be any chance of him coming back to Tottenham next season?
I'm not sure. I've not had those conversations. We will probably, or the club will have those conversations at the end of the season. But after this game at the weekend, then he goes back to his parent club. He's a Real Madrid player. So these conversations, these situations, I'm not sure of. I just know that hopefully he's going to help us at the weekend.
Thanks, George. Ali Gold.
Hey there, Ryan. Just first off, I wanted to ask you about injury news. Obviously, Jaffet went off with what looked like a serious injury on Wednesday.
Yeah, so Jaff and Ben are the only two at the moment. Jaff sustained naughty ankle injury, I think, to his ligament, so he won't feature at the weekend, and hopefully it isn't too long for him out. But Ben resumed some light training today, so they're the only two at the moment that aren't available for selection.
Can I just ask you, obviously, finances are tough for a lot of clubs in football right now. You know, they've lost all the revenues of the last year with the match day income and everything. How difficult do you think it's going to be for the next manager, whoever that may be at Tottenham, to stamp their own mark on this football club, maybe bring in new players without selling any in the first place?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. I can't really answer that question because I don't know the situation with finances. I don't know who's going to come in. I don't know who's going to go out. I think the most important thing probably is who's the manager, because then they will have the conversations of the direction in terms of recruitment or what players they're happy with. And these types of conversations, I'm sure, will happen in the summer. And like I said, I go back to the chairman's comments. He said he wants to get back to the DNA of this football club, and hopefully that will happen. I know the chairman cares about that, so hopefully we can build something and be successful.
Can I just ask, you mentioned earlier that you've learned stuff during this period as interim head coach. What have you learned?
Lots. I'm learning every day. I learn so much stuff. Even when I'm in my kids in the garden, I'm learning stuff about how to act with them. So it's normal as people that we keep learning. There's so much I've learned. Of course, I'd be very, very silly if I didn't take some things from this experience. A lot's happened in these 5 weeks, like a hell of a lot, to be honest.
Give us something, please.
And I feel like
just answer one question.
It's something that maybe once the season's over, I'll sit and I'll reflect and, okay, could I have done this better or could I have done that better? But in the moment, I feel like I've handled it with instinct. And I think that's the key thing to take from it. You've got to go with what you feel and what you believe in within those moments.
Thanks, Sally. Thank you, Patrick.
It's like when you're at school and
parent evening.
And what have you learned in the class today? And you're thinking, oh, I've just learned so much. And you haven't been concentrating the whole lesson, but you're like, yeah, I've learned so much. Like, so what did we talk about in class today? Oh, but I've learned so much.
We talked about lots of things in class today. So many. But you know what? All my concentration is on the next lesson.
Exactly.
Just on the next lesson.
Exactly.
That's all my concentration.
That's literally what it is.
Oh man, he is
painful. This press conference again.
Hi, Ryan. Your predecessor, Jose Mourinho, was quite critical last season of Tanguy Ndombele's fitness and his attitude. Obviously, you haven't been starting Tanguy in most games. I think he only started in your first game. He is the club record signing. I think we all kind of know he's a very talented player. Have you had a problem at all with his fitness or attitude? And if not, can you talk us through kind of why you haven't been starting him?
No, I'm not gonna. I don't think that there's another 10 or 11 players that haven't been starting in some games as well. So I don't think it's right to single out one player and explain my reasoning behind it. The players, the group have worked hard. They've really worked hard, and I think going forward as well, they want to work hard. They want to train in a way that prepares them to play in the Premier League at maximal capacity. So that's the most important thing. I think, these 5 weeks, I can't speak about what's happened before because I wasn't involved. I do know that the last 5 weeks, the players have been professional. They've wanted to work and they've enjoyed working as well. And I'm sure I can speak on behalf of any footballer. You want that to be in place.
Okay, thanks, Dan. We'll finish with Jonathan Ville.
Hi, Ryan. It's obviously a big summer for Gareth Bale with Wales and the Euros and everything. I think a few fans have thought perhaps that he's got one eye on that and he's not been fully committed to the team. Have you seen that at all? And in your mind, is he in contention to start on Sunday?
No, I completely disagree with that. Personally, Gareth's. Listen, I can only speak of my experience in his last 5 weeks with Gareth. He scored 4 goals for this football club in that time. It's been excellent. Last weekend, I think, was the most minutes he's played in the Premier League all season, pushing close to 90 minutes. I think if you were to look at Gareth in that moment, he looked fit, he looked strong. He was brave. He added a different dimension for us, and he has severe quality as well. But that spike in terms of the minutes played, he felt his quad. In terms of him thinking about the summer, I don't believe so, because he was out there the other night. He was playing through some pain, playing through a problem he had for me, for himself, and for the football club. So in terms of Gareth's commitment, Gareth's quality, I think his commitment's been fully there in this moment that I've been here. And in terms of his quality is never going to leave him. I think you see that every time he's on the football pitch.
Cool. And after Sunday's game, are you planning on having a debrief with chairman? And will you feed back to him what you perhaps think the squad needs in the summer and which players you might think should leave?
No. My plan is the weekend. And then our season's done. I'm here for anyone if anyone wants to speak, but there's nothing planned, nothing in place at the moment. So my main focus as a football club is the game at the weekend at this moment in time.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Jonathan. We're going to move on to the...
And that's the best way to leave off his press conference with his greatest hits.
That was like a show reel of all his press conferences in one, you know. But finally, that is the last pre-match press conference we're going to get from Ryan Mason.
He's not going to even... the chairman won't even speak to him at the end of the season. Surely he will. I don't know. So what? Ridiculous. The last ever focus is on the next game, and that's it. And hopefully you won't have to go sit for another Ryan Mason press conference.
What's his focus going to be on after the next game?
I don't know. He's going to lose his mind. He won't know what to focus on. He's going to lose his focus without a next game to focus on. He doesn't know what he's going to focus on.
For sure.
But, look, we didn't get many. The only thing maybe answered a bit was that last question where he says Bale was playing through pain on Wednesday when he came on.
Yeah.
Which maybe showed that he's not just thinking about the Euros and actually wanting to perform for Tottenham, but is what I don't know. That's all he said, really.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's nothing you can take from these press conferences. They're absolutely awful. But yeah, let's just keep going. We have got people waiting in the back end to try and come on. If you're new round here, or if you're not new round here, if you just want to support the channel, do go and smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. If you want your comment to definitely be read out, send it in a super chat. And we have got Brian Daigle here ready to speak to us.
Yes, Brian.
Shabbat shalom, guys. How are you?
Good Shabbos.
Yeah, very good, thank you. And yourself?
Yeah, good. I know what Ryan Mason is going to be focusing on after the game. I'm sending him out a book of press conferences for dummies. He can focus on reading that. Jesus Christ, that was
I don't think he needs to read that.
Oh my! I tell you what, honestly, Ben, I listened to the press conference obviously because it's normally not on in the back end. So I started watching it before you came on, heard the first question and heard his pathetic response. I thought I can't be bothered. And then this week, the first week, I could hear it in the back end. So I was like, oh, for God's sake.
You got your double dose then?
Oh, yeah. I mean, where he said he hasn't watched the Harry Kane video because he's been on the training pitch. What, he's been on the training pitch for 48 hours straight?
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
What nonsense. He's seen it. Of course, the answers are just so poor.
Really are.
Agreed.
But look, coming into the game this weekend, have you got any sort of hope whatsoever that we can somehow get a result?
Nope. No. To tell you the truth, the only thing I'm happy about is that the season's over.
Yeah, tell me about
That's it. I mean, that is it. I mean, the biggest thing I'm really, really worried about today is obviously this Nuno.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts about that?
No, thank you. No, thank you. This would be typical Tottenham. We're bringing Nuno because he might be able to bring out the best in Doherty. Forget bringing out the best in Son. in Son or Ndombele or Lo Celso. Let's get the best out of Doherty, and that will make everything right. I'm really worried about this one.
Yeah, well, he's on a now he's freely available, so it wouldn't cost Levy any money to bring him in. So makes sense now, doesn't it? It's understandable why the odds are slashed on him.
Yeah, completely. I mean, it looks like the one thing I will say: the Wolves fans adore him. He's done a lot for them, and you can't take that away from him. But that style of football won't work here, especially with fans being back in the ground next season. Please God.
Yeah, but you know what? Alistair Gold has poured cold water over these rumours. So hopefully the Here We Gold is going to stand true and firm once again.
Yes, I mean, as you probably saw, Ben, Iggy said in the Tottenham Away podcast that Ranieri's leaving Sampdoria. So who knows? We might have a bit of dilly dong.
What about Big Sam? He's leaving West Brom the end of the season.
Don't. I mean, if that was to happen, and people are still quiet, then I don't know what we're doing or where we're going.
Yeah, I mean, if Big Sam... I'm not even going to entertain the conversation.
Is our best hope Pochettino loses this weekend and maybe he gets sacked?
Do you know what it is, Simeon? I'd love to have Poch back, but not under Levy.
Yeah, true.
I'd love to have him back. I love the man, but exactly, that's the only thing. I mean, if he came back, what's Levy going to say? All is forgiven. I'm going to give you loads of money and get rid of the deadwood. No,
he won't. Do you usually wear shorts on the live stream, Brian?
Say again?
You usually wearing shorts on the live stream, showing off your legs.
No, but it's 31 degrees here. It's 31 degrees here in Toronto. The air conditioning is on, so it's shorts time here. I've heard the weather back home, mate.
I'm thankful you kept your top on.
Busy.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much wind today. I feel like this roof is going to fly off at any second.
Yeah, I heard that. I was talking to Danny Kiriakou earlier, and I've been speaking to people back home. They're like, the weather is absolutely appalling, whereas here it's absolutely boiling.
I'll tell you what, Brian, I think our chat about the weather here is actually more interesting than our chat about the game or anything like that that's going to happen this weekend. More interesting, that's for sure.
I'll tell you how joyous it was yesterday. It's got so hot we had to put our air conditioner unit in the window. There you go. There's some happy news.
But Brian, we might be better off watching the Arsenal game this weekend because we can be pretty damn sure Spurs aren't winning. So it's only about if Brian can get a result against Arsenal, that can save our season.
Exactly, and then you've got to look at it, Sim, as well. What we're going to have to watch as well is Harry Kane in potentially his last.
I can't see it on the screen. Welcome back. Sorry about that, guys. Once again, Daniel Levy trying to sabotage our stream. Is Brian still there?
Is Brian still there? Rich Weiss, welcome to Gold. Thank you so much,
friend.
Rich.
Welcome to the family, my friend. But yeah, sorry about that. But we had a few technical difficulties. But Brian is back. Brian's back with us.
Where did we go? Where did we end off when it cut off?
Something about the weather, I'm guessing.
Oh no, I think it was talking about Leicester when we get to watch the Leicester game and Leicester, who hate Harry Kane because of his loan move, and it could be potentially Harry Kane's last game. And the thing he gets to see last as a Spurs player is watching Leicester parade an FA Cup in front of their fans.
Great stuff.
Oh, fantastic.
Absolutely fantastic stuff.
But in terms of the game, like obviously we need West Ham to lose, Spurs need to win. So you've pretty much written off any chance of Europa League going into Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, let's be serious. I mean, we've said it time and time again. Every time a gift, and Simeon, you're one of the first people to say it, as soon as a gift is given to us, we're like, no, thanks for your generosity, but we're past on that. So... Listen, let's just hope it's for a good performance. But as we all know, it's the hope that kills us. And I'm looking forward to an enjoyable weekend. So I'm not going to try and let Spurs ruin it.
Any chance of a repeat of Spurs-Leicester in the last game of the season a couple of years back?
Oh, God, if only, mate. I mean, I saw one of you guys put it up in the community page that 3 years ago today, or 4 years, we beat Hull 7-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, we Leicester 6-1 just before that as well. A couple of days before
exactly. Harry Kane got 7 out of those 13. So let's just hope he can get 7 goals.
Talking about Kane, Brian. Sorry, talking about Kane. Did you see his interview, the full interview yet on Sky?
Yeah, completely. Yep.
I haven't watched the full thing. I've only seen the cut, the one that was posted yesterday. So I'm going to watch that later. But what did you make out of his full interview?
So Harry Kane is basically saying I'm off, but in the nicest possible way. I noticed if you watch that interview again or watch it from where you asked him, Harry Kane's got to tell every time a question became a little bit too complicated that he didn't want to work, his body language, he just looked at playing with his golf club. There's a lot of times where he's looking at the camera, and on a few questions, his body language, he doesn't want to be seen in the camera, and I think he's off. I mean, the question he answered about Kevin De Bruyne, Ryan Mason was right there. Everyone would want to play with him. But I came up with a kind of theory yesterday on Bob's show. I actually think Man City will go and get him if they don't win the Champions League. If they win the Champions League, I think they're going to invest in youth or something that they can build on. But if they don't, they so desperately want that trophy, I think they'll go all out to get him if they don't win the Champions League.
Interesting.
All right, Brian, and just before we let you go, what's your score prediction for Sunday?
Well, we went 3-1 against Villa and we got absolutely royally roasted there. It's Harry Kane. Let's just hope Harry Kane has a good last game. I'm going to go 2-1. Because I just can't say, I can never say we're going to lose. 2-1 Spurs. I can never say we lose.
All right. Big up yourself, Brian. Thanks a lot for coming on, as always, my friend.
Always a pleasure, guys. Have a great weekend and I'll speak to you after the Leicester game.
Come on, you Spurs.
See you, Brian. Good to see you.
Leave me out.
Yeah.
Damn right.
All right, so that is Brian's take. He's going for a 2-1 win to Spurs. We've got Stuart up next. We've got Stuart. How you doing, Stuart?
All right, guys. Good to finally be on.
Yeah, good to have you, my friend. Good to have you. How are you feeling coming into this game this weekend?
Well, I think like everyone else, I'm just happy it's the last game of the season, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was mildly hopeful we might go out of a bang at the new White Hart Lane, but that turned into an absolute crap show. So yeah, let's get Leicester done, and then I'm just going to focus on seeing who the next guy is, because I think that's going to drive everything going forward. Now, we can all agree that this season and the last seasons, more than one season, has been awful. We've been on a steady decline for a while now, and we just need some point where it just changes, and we need someone in to literally rip the heart out of that squad, because that's where the biggest problem is. It's been proven in 2 seasons. We've gone through 3 managers and the performances are the same. So the common thread in all of that is the players. So something's got to change pretty quickly.
But, you say you can't wait for the season to end, but, aren't we in for a very long summer with this whole Harry Kane saga set to rumble on throughout the summer? Will he stay? Will he go? Apparently Spurs are not happy with his actions, giving that a full-length interview to Gary Neville a couple of days ago. What's your assessment of the situation?
The whole Kane thing is, I love Harry Kane. I've loved him ever since he sort of burst onto the scene. I remember that Villa game where he scored that deflected free kick, which really sort of got him sort of going with us.
He's still on every free kick since then.
Yeah, and he's not got any better either. So I don't know why he's still doing it. The fact that he's still managed to do that with Bale around is just shows how he's Billy.
He's probably still hoping for a deflection.
Yeah. To be honest with Kane, if we get 150 million straight out cash for him, just sell. Because I know everyone's going to be like, it's the 20-odd goals, it's the 14, 15 assists that he's had this season, it's the presence in the team, it's the message it sends out in terms of our own ambitions. But no one player can be bigger than the whole team. And I think he said it himself, like, if they've got the opportunity to get me out of the club for 100, 150 million, do it, because I'm not going to be worth anywhere near. He won't be anywhere near worth that this time next year. And this is off the back of potentially more injuries and everything. So I think he knows it's his last big opportunity for a big move, because he will not get that move next summer. No chance. Because if you've got Haaland available for 60 million on his buyout clause at Dortmund, why would you buy Harry Kane at that point? and Levy will still charge you 80, 100 million with 2 years left on his contract. So I think he sees the opportunity. His agent, his brother, and his family see the opportunity, and maybe that's what we need. We need something really big has to happen this summer in the whole club, because we've just been drifting, and I think this could be the big bomb that needs to go off to wake everyone up.
Yeah, on the manager,
we've been too reliant on him for too long. We went that way with Bale, and he left, and we managed to sort of build our way back out of it. And if it has to take another couple of seasons to get back on track, that's what we have to do. I mean, I just want us to play bloody good football again and actually have players on the pitch who give a toss. That's been the worst thing for me for the last. This season and the end of the season last year, it was just the sheer fact that the players didn't seem to care. And that's the prime objective of you stepping on the pitch with Tottenham, is you actually give a toss that you're there. So, I'm getting a sense that there's going to be a lot going on literally as soon as the season ends. All the stuff with Nuno, I think that's pretty odds on now by the looks of it. It seems all massively convenient to me that he's managed to do that today before the last game of the season.
How do you feel about Nuno?
I disagree. I've listened to Brian's view a minute ago, and I do disagree a little bit. And this is on a few counts. And do cut me off if you need to move on to anyone else. The prime objectives are playing good football, working on a budget, because we're going to be on a budget. We're in hundreds of millions of debt. We've lost loads more money because of COVID. We'll be working on a budget, even with Harry Kane money coming in. And we need someone who can identify good talent. He's done that. And we need someone who likes playing youth and who's brave enough to play youth talent. And he's done that. So he ticks a lot of the boxes that they say they want. And he's a good man manager. And he gets teams fit. Because when Wolves were in Europe, I mean, they were in the position we are this year, where they played 50 plus games across the whole season. And the biggest bloody difference was they didn't look tired. And they had a tiny squad. They weren't changing their squad one week to the next. That was a very settled team throughout 50 plus games of football. So he gets them very, very fit. So he's certainly not the worst one on the list, I don't think. There's more riskier appointments. Ten Hag is great on paper, but he's never managed in the Premier League. That's the big worry, is that do we take the punt on someone who's never managed in the Premier League, or someone who we know has competed? I mean, how many times have we lost points to Wolves since he's been there?
We've always had a hard game against them, always.
Yes, and I think they've struggled because of Jimenez was a linchpin in their squad, and it's like taking Kane out for the season. Imagine if we had Kane out this season, we would have been absolutely screwed. So I don't really sort of look at their drop in form this season as an indicator that he's not good. I think he's struggled with the impact of injuries. They spent a lot of money on the young lad from Porto, and he's very, very young, and he's not really come in and done what he needed to do. But there's so much young talent in that team. I'd love to see that try and get replicated at Spurs, because you could easily take 9 players out of our squad and put 9 of our youth team in there, and I'd be far happier, even if it was a bit ropey for the first few games of the season, because at least they will care.
Stuart, in terms of Nuno again, Daniel Levy mentioned in his programme notes for the Villa game, saying that he wanted a manager that's back in the Spurs DNA, that kind of football, that style of football. Do you think that is Nuno? Do you think Nuno can produce that style of football?
I think if you look at pre-Jimenez injury and going into last season and the seasons he's been at Wolves, 100%. I think he's had to change his system this season because of injuries and other issues in the squad, and that's not worked for them because they were almost indoctrinated into playing in that particular way. But I think given the right players, the right tools in a different club, he could do it. We know he does. It's definitely as part of his game. He's not a negative manager. I don't think any of the current guys that we're being linked with are negative managers, apart from Allegri. That was the only one that I was very concerned about. But I just think he knows the league. He knows players in the league. He knows what you need to do to be competitive in the league. I don't think we could go much wronger than him, really. I mean, I still believe Potter's a good punt, but I know a lot of people don't agree with that. But, you know, apparently he came into Brighton on a 2-year deal, and within a month they'd offered him a 6-year deal because they were that impressed with how he was working. So I'm not being funny. That says a lot. And I think they would absolutely hate him leaving. And it's just a simple fact. He's not done a bad job. They've just had an injection of cash into Wolves, and now he's leaving. What job out there in the market is available that he would go to now? I don't see any other job. Happily proven wrong, but I think this is where it's going, because they wanted to move quickly. Ali Gold, you know, he was saying that stuff is going to happen within days of the season finishing.
Well, it's funny you mention it. Sorry, it's funny you mention Ali Gold, because he's also tweeted today saying Nuno is not a candidate. I know it's funny. I know it's funny with that. What I mean is that it doesn't necessarily have to be Nuno, but I think we will have someone in within days. I hope you're right. Sorry, Stuart, is this Stuart Gallop?
Yes.
Stuart Gallop from Twitter. Yes, I recognise the name. Nice to have you on, mate.
I'm the guy that does a lot of people's editing because I keep atting them.
Brilliant. Well, it's good to have you on.
I've been meaning to come on for a while, guys. So thanks for talking, and thanks to all the other guys like Cody and Dave and all that lot who are really top guys. And it's good to interact with fellow fans and get our rants out and all that stuff, because it does help.
Well, do call in again, Stuart. And just before we let you go, what is your prediction for the game this weekend?
I think I'm gonna go with a safe bet. I'm gonna go for a 2-2.
2-2, Desmond. All right, Stuart.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on,
guys,
mate.
Stuart.
Keep it up, guys. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, Stuart.
See you later.
Bye.
All right, and who have we got on next? We've still got a lot of people. Cody Mack is here with us. Come on, Cody.
Yes, Cody. Big up,
How you
Cody.
doing, mate?
You good?
Well, you know what? We all gotta die at some point. And
that's how you're looking at things.
All I can picture is lying in the hospital bed, hopefully years from now, as you know, my health fades away from me, and looking back on my life and wondering about some of the things that I might regret. And I think among them is going to be having ever wasted a moment of my life watching Ryan Mason press conferences. Oh my God.
Exactly. Like Harry Kane, you don't want to end your career with any regrets. I think you already have many regrets.
I think all humans want not to have regrets. Well, I have regrets about this morning. I'd say that much. Good Lord.
Apparently that's why Kane wants to leave, mostly. Just hearing Ryan Mason. That's probably the main reason.
I never thought I would beg for Jose back, but I would take anybody over this dross right now. That made my eyes.
You say you take anybody, Cody, but Nuno is strongly linked with the position now. He's heavy favourite with the bookies. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, I'm still on the bandwagon. I don't give a shit who we bring in as manager. No, because like the thing is, okay, so let's say we sell Harry Kane and we get whatever, 125, 150 million, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the last 5 record signings for Tottenham Hotspur, okay? Ndombele, 56 million pounds. Sanchez, 42 million. Sissoko, 31.5 million. Lamela, 26 million. And Soldado, 26 million. So until we get football people in to make football decisions, like you could look at the downturn of Tottenham Hotspur being like when we actually started to make big signings like that, or big signings. When we started spending money in large amounts like that, that's when we started going wrong. So we need someone who's competent to come in here and identify talent for us. It doesn't really matter who you bring in until we make that kind of change. We cannot have Hitchen and Levy controlling the personnel at this club anymore. It's untenable. It's unbearable. Just look at that list and those names. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing when you put it into words like that and just put it on a list. It's just it boggles the mind. It boggles the mind.
Yeah, I completely agree. And, you know, Harry Kane as well, that full interview was released today. Have you got a chance to watch the whole thing?
Yeah, I watched it. It was great. It was great.
The,
you know
the
what?
Hour, the hour-long version. Yeah, you watched the whole thing.
Yeah, I watched the full version. Yeah. I mean,
Well,
I thought it was absolutely shocking, you know, like how Gary Neville couldn't hang with Harry Kane and he was giving him a shot a hole, you know what I mean? But nothing that Harry Kane said should come as a surprise to anybody, you know? The fact that, you know, he backed Jose and he backed Poch and that the players are children and that he has aspirations for his own career. I don't think he said anything that should shock anyone. And he's getting a lot of negative reaction on Twitter, like he's disrespecting the club or something. And to those people, what exactly is he disrespecting? This club is a horrible mess of a dumpster fire right now, and you're just expecting Kane to sit there forever silently and burn with this club. This is a power move by Harry Kane. It may not be a power move that results in him being transferred, but maybe it will have an effect on the board and how they want to proceed here. He's basically saying, put your money where your mouth is right now, or I'm out of here, because he's coming to the peak of his career, right? You could argue that this is it. Right now, he is at the peak of his career. Mm-hmm. So if he risks one more year with Tottenham Hotspur in the state that we're in, he's risking not winning a trophy ever. So he sent a clear message to the board to start to show some ambition that he has for himself as well. And I don't blame him for that.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree, and it's interesting to see a lot of his thoughts. Especially, I haven't seen the full thing, but I've seen snippets. For example, him talking about a missed opportunity in the Pochettino era to really challenge for the title, win major trophies, and I think that's very interesting because obviously, as a fan base, we felt that. But it's interesting to see as our star player also feels that way, that with the missed opportunity, and that definitely plays into the fact of how we're being led right at the top. And maybe just as a fan base are fed up with that, maybe the players are starting to get fed up with that as well.
Yeah, like I said, I can't blame anything that he said. I didn't think he was out of line. I didn't think he was attacking anybody. The thing is, anyone that he came across as being critical of deserves the criticism, right? Mm-hmm. We always say, like, we wish players would give more real answers, you know, like we slate Ryan Mason for the types of answers that he gives, but when Harry Kane tells it how it is and was very cordial and polite and respectful about the way he was saying it and the way he was answering it, you know, he wasn't coming out and slamming people, right? Mm-hmm. I have no problem with anything that he said today.
Bloody well should come out and slam people. I want him to come out and slam people because people deserve to be slammed right now.
It makes you wonder, like, what would have happened if he had said something a little bit earlier, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's just it's a sad state of affair. I mean, for me, the best moment of this season right now will be when the final whistle blows on Sunday. I just can't take any more. I can't take any more.
I mean, in terms of Sunday, obviously, difficult game against Leicester, challenging for top four. They need all 3 points. We need also West Ham to lose against Southampton. Do you hold any sort of hope at all that Europa League spot is there to be taken for us?
I wouldn't characterize it as hope, really. You know, I'm not going to say that it's impossible, but I'm not going to get myself excited for the prospect of it. In my mind, Europa is already gone, and we are. I don't even want to say it, but I mean, it's hard to see how we win on Sunday is how I'll say it. So
what if I offered you right now 8th place and Arsenal win 9th? Would you snap my hand off for that?
Yeah, I think I would.
That's a sad state.
I think I would.
Yeah, me too. I think as long as we finish with Arsenal, that's the main aim from now to end for the last game for me.
We've gone back in time.
Yeah, I mean, finishing below Arsenal with the way that they have been this season would be exponentially embarrassing.
Yeah.
Just really take all of the, especially considering, like, you could go back to that second North London derby back in March and look at that as the real, like, capitulation of this football club, right? We lost to them on Sunday, and then we went to Zagreb and lost on Thursday, and it's just been we've just been a rotting corpse since then. So, I mean,
score prediction.
I can't believe it. I can't believe that we're sitting here talking about the prospect of finishing below Arsenal, and this is the worst Arsenal side that I have ever seen, me personally. Like, I can't remember a worse Arsenal side than we've seen this year.
Well, this must be the worst Spurs side since you've started supporting us, right?
Yeah, it definitely has been. If not the worst side, then surely the most disappointing, Yeah. But, like I said, we're all going to die at some point. Time
What's
is a
your score
construct.
prediction,
Life
Cody?
has no meaning. Score prediction. Do I have to?
You don't have to. We're not going to force you to do anything, Cody. You don't.
All
want
right.
to do.
Well, I'll make two predictions. I'll make a prediction with my heart and a prediction with my head. I'll fence it. I'll cheat. I'll say 3-1 to Spurs. With my heart, and with my head, I'll say 2-0 to Leicester.
And just before we let you go, we've got a comment here from Stephen Batt saying it looks like Nuno's being interviewed by We Are Tottenham TV right now.
Yeah, well, maybe if I had a little bit more gray. Come on, give me some credit. There's not as much salt and pepper in here yet, but I got a pretty good howl on me. But before
one more season like this, and it might be.
Yeah, for sure. I will say. I do have my show on Will Stewart's channel, THFC Rants, coming up on Wednesday morning. We're going to do a season in review, or perhaps a season post-mortem, if you want to say it like that. And I'll be having none other than Matty Hayes as my guest on the channel. We'll be going live at 11 a.m. GMT, and I will be hitting you guys up at some point in the summer to come on the channel as well. I certainly hope you'll have some time for me.
Most definitely.
Yep, take care, guys.
Cody. Looking forward to it.
Cheers, Cody.
Glory.
Glory. Not so glory.
Profit.
Or debt, as it may be. But anyway, thanks, Cody. We got a super chat here from Nigel Gates saying, I was a Jimmy Greaves fan, but Harry Kane is a better all-round player now. Difference is that Spurs team was a team. This is a bunch of guys wearing the same shirt.
Yeah. Absolutely agreed at the moment. There's just no togetherness at the moment with Spurs, and that's one of the biggest issues. What was our biggest strength is now our biggest weakness.
Yeah. And let's get the Irish Hotspur on.
Come on, David.
Yes, Dave. How's it going, my man?
Yeah, I was in a good mood until I were all out of bed and seen Nuno Espirito Santo from Wolves. I hope Ali Gold's article is true, because honestly, I don't want that guy. You may as well get one of the fastest dress up as Finding Nemo, and then just everyone else dress up as fish and try and find them, because his football is shit.
Well, there's another update here from Jack Pitbrook. He says he's tweeted out saying, lots of talk about Nuno Espirito Santo and Tottenham this afternoon. He's not going to be the next Spurs head coach. So Ali Gold and now Jack Pitbrook.
You can breathe now, Dave. You can breathe.
Both pouring cold water.
Thank God I won't play Astro this evening now without that racking my brain.
Exactly. But coming into the game this weekend, do you hold any sort of hope that we can get Europa League football for next season?
You know me, I always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the bright side. Look, why can't we beat Leicester? Why can't West Ham lose? There
are many reasons, David.
Yeah, well, look, it's our turn to get a chef in there and feed them some dodgy lasagna, isn't it?
It is. We need an agent like you up there cooking the food for them.
Oh, I'm telling you, just give them a dodgy lasagna. It'd be absolutely brilliant. They done it to us under Martin for top four. You know what I mean? So it'd be nice to get one back on them and take them out of Europa League and us sneak in.
These things don't happen to Spurs though, David. We only get screwed over on the last day. We never are on the benefit of trumping another team. It doesn't happen to Tottenham.
No, it doesn't. But look, I've keep saying it all along. There has to be some sort of shining light at the end of the season. I'll take what I can get at this stage.
This is the last chance.
We can get Europa League and finishing above Arsenal. As poor as this point of the season has been, I'll take it all day long.
David, if I offered you right now, Spurs finish 8th and Spurs finish 8th and Arsenal finish 9th, I'll offering it to you right now before the game started. Are you taking that?
Oh yeah, 100%. Look, I love not better to be finishing above them. I give them so much stick on Twitter. If they finish above us, I'm going to be ended.
I agree. I think that's the only thing I'm hoping for. I think, to be honest, for me, the the only way we finish above Arsenal is if Brighton get a result. That's the only way I can see it at this point, because I just have no faith that Spurs are going to get a result against Leicester on Sunday. But, you know...
Well, look, hopefully Harry Potter can wave his magic wand and Expelliarmus goals comes out and they destroy Arsenal. That'd be nice.
That would be beautiful.
But,
Brighton are Arsenal's bogey team. Let's have it straight, though.
Yeah, hopefully Danny Welbeck comes and fires a few in. That'd be absolutely perfect. What a swan song that would be. I couldn't help but, listen to the Martin Yole interview and just, why the fuck aren't we waking him up and getting him in as director of football? No players that guy's identified.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. I mean, he is in a role at the moment in The Hague in the Netherlands, but I offered him the job. I offered him the job when we spoke, but he said he's retired. He doesn't want it. But I should have followed that up with the sporting director, because we desperately need someone. We can't have a new manager doing a whole rebuild with Hitchin and Levy still there. It's just not going to work. There's just no point to it.
No, it's never going to work, ever. It hasn't worked so far, so it's stupid to keep going with the same thing. For me, look, just listening to the interview, and the way he was saying that he converted Jan Vertonghen into a defender. Alderweireld, they brought Alderweireld through Ajax, he Moussa Dembele, when he was playing a forward, he identified and said, no, you're a midfielder. Just things like that, and just listening to him, I think he'd be absolutely perfect for the director of football role. Probably a bit past it now to be a manager, but to identify players and bring them in, I think it'd be absolutely brilliant for the role. Spurs fan as well. What more do you want?
Brilliant, yeah, not a bad shout. And did you watch the full Harry Kane interview on Neville's channel?
No, I haven't. It's a sabotage piece on Tottenham. That's what Gary Neville is trying to get. He's trying to get his new podcast up and running. I will watch it later on when I come back from Astro. I'll chill out, play a game of FIFA or two, and listen to that. But it's upsetting. But look, I've kind of gone to the point now where I'm just tweeting Harry Kane every day. I tweet him a message today. I tweeted him a song, Benny King, Stand By Me. I was like, you need to give that a listen. And just so I'm going to just tweet him every day, tell him how much I love him, tweet him different songs, and try and hopefully I can get him to stay.
Well, if anyone can, you can, David.
Exactly. I think everyone should join David in his kind of plan to tweet Harry Kane every day of,
It'll piss him off, probably. He'll probably get to leave.
Look, he's a lost soul at the minute. He's a lost soul, and he just needs a bit of love, a bit of care, and a bit of attention. And look, there's no better man than me to give it to him. I'm a big man. I've plenty to go around, so I'll give it to Harry. But, if everyone else can join the cause and just tweet him every day, different songs, tell him how much you love him and what he means to you, it'd be absolutely brilliant. We could change his mind yet. The power of the fans. You stop the Super League.
Are you more excited for the game, or are you more excited to see the back of the season, Dave?
No, look, to be honest with you, it's boring without the Premier League. I know the Euros is coming up this summer, but I've said many times, I'm not really interested in it because Ireland aren't going to be there. Obviously, I watch the games and everything else, but it's bittersweet, really, because, you think back to November, we were top of the league, especially me, I was gassed up. And to the way it's petered out, but at the same time, there's no better feeling than watching Tottenham Hotspur. Honestly, there's not. I get up early, I have my shower, I'll have a nice breakfast, I'll have a smoke, Dave. Whatever else, and ease into put on the Tottenham songs, and then just go full throttle for the day. I'm gonna miss it now for the summer. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, apparently there's an argument to be had that Arsenal fans probably enjoy watching Spurs more, and we probably enjoy watching Arsenal more of how this season's gone, probably. But I get your point. We are going to miss it as much as Spurs have been a pain in the backside for the past 6 months, probably. There is something to miss. There is those high. You're addicted to those highs and lows, aren't you?
All those lows and lows.
It's an addiction. It's an addiction. Look, whether you win or lose. Your whole week revolves around Tottenham. Whether you win, you're thinking about the next game and where the season could go. And then when you lose, you're thinking about how you can set it right, what we can all do. It's an absolute addiction. You know what I mean? And, pump it into my veins every day of the week because I fucking love this club. I know I've been negative and all recently, but I think I've had every reason to be. But still, at the end of the day, I love this club. So inject that addiction into my veins because I love it.
David, if we beat Leicester this weekend, which would mean Leicester drop out of fourth place for a second consecutive season, could that convince Rodgers to possibly come
top four?
Sorry?
They can still win and not be in the top four.
Correct. But I'm just saying, yeah, true. But say we beat them and they drop out top four, drop out the Champions League for a second consecutive season, is there any chance that could convince Rodgers that maybe he's hit a ceiling at Leicester?
Yeah, look, he's given them the FA Cup. Why not sign off after that, and hand the reins over to someone else and come to Tottenham and instill that attacking philosophy at Tottenham, because with Brendan Rodgers, he's a good manager at adapting to what he's got. Like compared to the way he's played at Celtic, Liverpool, Leicester, it's all been different sort of formations. But the team still scores goals and they still win games. Like you know what I mean? So for me, I would like Brendan to come to Tottenham, but look, it's all about getting the director of football in and the football structure in place for any manager to succeed right now.
But at the end of the day, I don't get why Brendan would come here, even if Leicester don't finish in the top four. The structure of the club there is so much better than what we got here at the minute, and we make Leicester look like a top side the way our club's being run, and that's the facts of the matter. They got a better chairman than us. They got a better recruitment system in than us. They're going to finish higher in the league than us 2 years running now. So I mean, I don't understand why Brendan would come here. Yeah,
but Rodgers might like another bite at a massive club again, in the Premier League. Like, look, with Leicester, he's done a great job. They have been up in and around the last few seasons, but they still have a long way to go for me to be considered as a massive club. Like, as much as people don't like to hear it, like, we actually do have success. We do have trophies and we do have a history behind us. It may be a long go, but the thing is, Tottenham is a sleeping giant right now, and if you can get someone in like Rodgers, like look at the work he's done with the likes of Maddison, even Iheanacho towards the end of this season, the amount of goals that Vardy's getting, there's lots of players in there. Imagine what he could do with Kane. Imagine what he could do with Son, and if we got some players in that he's identified that he wants to come in, honestly, If we have a massive summer this summer and get it right, get the right manager in place and get a few players in and a few of the deadwood out, there's no reason why we can't have a good season next season.
And finally, Dave, what's your score prediction for the weekend?
I'm going to go Tottenham. I'm going to go Tottenham 1-0. And the reason why I'm going with a clean sheet because look, I just think the occasion will get to Leicester. To be honest with you, I do. I think I'm going to go Tottenham 1-0.
Tottenham 1-0.
We've not to play for them, and we've not to play for. We're always good. So, and plus, Moon Boots promised me a good end to the season. He let me down against Philly. He better deliver against Leicester.
All right. And pre-match pump-up Sunday. Last pre-match pump-up of the season, Dave. You want to tell him?
Yeah, look, what time are we starting at, lads?
Kickoff's at 4.
So it's 2:30.
Yeah, 2:30.
Yeah, 2:30. Look, last week's show, maybe not so much of a pump-up. It was more of a real show last week, but it was a great show. And look, this show, it's the last game of the season. And we're riding that train all the way home to the station. So everybody come in, tune in. I've shown more passion than a lot of these players. So I deserve your support. So come over, tune in, smash a like on the stream. If you're new and you are tuned in, make sure you smash that subscribe. Get plenty of those super chats in. And look, it's going to be an amazing show. And then we'll pick it up again next season where it's going to be 10 times better. This season was just a trial run, isn't that right, lads?
100%, 100%. Looking forward to next season. Looking forward to the show on Sunday. So, Dave, we'll see you on Sunday on the pre-match pump-up and the post-match fan show as well. Looking forward to it. Thanks for coming on, mate, and we'll see you soon.
And I just want to say to Stuart as well, new channel member, it's people like you that I want to come on, new fresh faces, get on, have your say. And everyone else, you have plenty of time between now and then to grab that membership and come on and join me on the pre-match pump-up and then come on and share your thoughts on the post-match pump-up after the game as well. So it's well worth it. So make sure you grab that channel membership. So I don't want to hear any excuses. There's so many names that support this show and support the pre-match pump-up that I want to speak to before the end of the season. The more names that come in the background, the quicker I get you on and off. So come on, you Tottenham, and let's just let's all just band together for one game. Try and be positive. Ultimately, we'll probably be disappointed after, but for one game, let's all just try and be positive and sing the lads home. Come on, you Spurs, and thanks very much.
Come on. Cheers, David.
All right, how many people we got left? One last guest of the show, and let's bring
Jamie.
him on. Jamie. Yes, Jamie, how's it going, my man?
Hey, guys. Yeah, not too bad. You guys all right?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. How you
Doing
feeling
okay.
coming into the game this weekend?
Not too confident, to be honest. Yeah, I don't think we're going to win, which we'll probably end up winning now because every result I predicted wrong. So, hopefully it'll mean we'll win. But yeah, just after the Villa game, I just think I don't know. It's just nothing left now. I think just want to see it over with, and yeah, it's just I just can't see us getting the win. To be honest, I think Leicester will win 2-1. I reckon
2-1.
Yeah.
In terms of how we can finish this season, so we can finish anywhere from 6th till 9th. And obviously, if Arsenal better our result, they do finish above us. Or if they win, at least they finish above us. If they draw and we lose, do they finish above us?
No.
So they
need
need
our
to,
goal difference.
Yeah, they need to win.
Yeah.
So, would you take 8th right now if that means finishing above Arsenal?
Yes. Funny enough, when when I first came on here, I think my second call, I said I predicted we'd finish 8th. So
did you really?
Yeah, which I think a lot of people, would have been angry because we were doing not too bad at the time. But I was saying that I can't see it lasting with Jose because I was saying about I think he's just going to upset someone and we're going to lose the form, because I did say even at Christmas time we were top, but I wasn't convinced, because, I know I made it clear I'm not a Jose fan. I just sort of felt the wheels were going to fall off sort of thing. So I still felt 8th, because, supporting Spurs so many years, only the Poch era I was the only time I actually got excited about Spurs because when I was younger, I used to be a bit naive, used to think, we had great players, we're going to do it. But so many times we were just let down and you just got used to it. So after Poch, I just felt like we're going back to the old days and, I didn't really feel we're going to finish strongly. So, yeah, I felt we finished 8th, and yeah, I would still take it. I feel like maybe it's better to be outside of Europe. Take the pressure off next season, less games. I know we're a club that should be in Europe. Obviously,
it's not great for the bank balance, though.
Yeah, true. That's the only disadvantage, I guess. But yeah, it could have its advantages. If it meant we got top 4 next season, it could be an advantage. You never know. Other teams have done it. That I think when they're not in Europe, they normally have a good season and finish in the top 4. But yes, financially, it would be a bit tricky.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. Did you see the full Kane interview on the Overlap channel?
Yeah, with Gary Neville.
Yeah, the hour long. Did you see the hour long one? What did you make out of what Kane had to say?
I saw the one that was like for 10 minutes or so.
Oh, that was the one yesterday. Okay, but what did you make out of some of his comments?
I felt, like I said last time, I still feel like he's asking, like, if something changes, like when he sits down with Daniel Levy, I think he's going to ask, like, when he says an honest conversation, I think he's going to say, look, are you planning anything next season? Look, I've given you all these years and we have gone backwards. Unless you can be honest and say things are going to change next season, be honest and say, if not, if we're going to expect the same, then I feel he's going to say, look, please let me go. Because the key fact was when he said about the goals, when he said, I want to be scoring 50, 60, 70. Now, we're not in Champions League or nothing. So even if he stays one more year, he's not going to get that. So, not much is going to change in a year. So I think he's just trying to say, look, I think it's best you sell me now. You're a winner, I win. It makes sense, to be honest. What's the point keep staying for one more year if things aren't going to change? Because he knows he can't score that many goals because with the players that we've got. I mean, good players, but how many times have you seen him frustrated when they don't pass him the ball on time? Yeah, exactly.
Especially last game when you saw him mouthing literally, what's the point?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, he's running all over the show, but there's no one else. If we had 11 Kanes just with that attitude, look where we'll be. Look, I watched that Villa game. They had nothing to play for, but I was jealous of them. They were fighting, they were attacking, and they got in our box in like less than 20 seconds from the defence. We take about 5 minutes to get up there. So, we've totally lost our form, the way we play, the basics, and like the Irish Hotspur was saying, like Brendan Rodgers, like I'm thinking, why would he come? Leicester, they've got a great squad. They've got a chairman who like adores the club. Why would he work for Daniel Levy? And if he has poor form, he'll be the first out the door. So, and then where does he go from there? So I think he should stay at Leicester. I think he. But if he does come, he'll probably bring Jamie Vardy with him and also Kane. But,
who's your pick for manager? Who's your pick if you had the choice?
I said it last time. I would like to give Graham Potter a go. I don't know who else we could bring in really. I think it's got to be if it's going to be a project, then I'd say give it to him because I don't see a quick fix. So why not start again and give it to someone like him? I think he could do a good job. But we just have to wait and see. But
exactly. I think it could be a long summer ahead in terms of the manager search might get sorted quickly, but it's definitely going to be a long summer ahead of rumours with Harry Kane and what have you. You know how Daniel Levy likes to do his business. When we usually sell a big player, it does usually rumble on all the way till the end of the window. But Jamie, have a good weekend, mate, and hopefully we'll see you after 3 points on Sunday.
Yes, guys, I'll try and tune in for that. Hopefully I'm wrong and we get the win, but
let's hope so.
Let's see.
All right.
Yeah.
Come on, mate.
Cheers, Jamie.
Come on, you Spurs. All right, so that is it. That is the end of our pre-match fan show and press conference reaction. We'll be back tomorrow with our match previews, our predicted lineup and our Premier League predictions. And then it is the last game of the season on Sunday where you can catch David Harris on the pre-match pump-up from 2:30.
Let's just read out the super chat from Josh Rodriguez.
All right, wait one sec. Followed by the watch along and then followed by the post-match fan show. So you can catch all that content throughout the weekend. And let's get into that super chat.
I just didn't want you to end the show without reading out. It just says Ten Hag, manager, plus Ragnick, director of football, plus 150 million, sell Kane, or Kane stays, and Potter, manager, and no director of football.
I prefer the first option.
The first option. You'd rather sell Kane and get Ten Hag and Ragnick than keep Kane and then get Potter and have Potter.
Kane's going to leave eventually. I mean, it's either this summer or next summer.
Yeah, you're probably right. I think I'll take the first option as well.
All right, so there you have it. You've got a lot of content coming your way. Look forward to seeing you out throughout the weekend. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.